Hello everybody, it's absolutely brilliant to have you all back in school now, but this video is just a short presentation to explain the process of your grading this year, and how we will decide on your grades and evidence those for you as well. So, on the 4th of January, the Prime Minister announced that exams would not go ahead this summer as they normally would do. For obvious reasons, and a consultation process will begin to establish exactly how that will take place. That consultation had approximately 100,000 responses, and almost half of those were from students, so you and your peers have had a real say-so in all of this process and how to ensure that the grades are awarded fairly and correctly. I'm pleased to say that all grades will be awarded by teachers and not algorithms like they were last year. So it's a real opportunity for you guys now, between now and the end of the year, to prove what you deserve. Now, one of the statements from the DfE, which I think is the key and most important one for all of this process, is this: the grades submitted to exam boards must reflect a fair, reasonable and carefully considered judgment of the student's performance across a range of evidence on the curriculum content that they have been taught. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain how we will decide and come to that carefully considered judgment, the range of evidence that we will use to ensure that you get the best possible outcomes. Now, for me, this is the fairest system. It is a way that you can demonstrate what you deserve and not exam boards who don't know you. Now, what I would also stress is to take your news from trusted sources, and not look at some of the absolute rubbish that has appeared on social media. Some of those stories are schools in chaos. They're not at all. They're using those inflammatory statements to sell papers and generate likes. So please believe us when we say that this process is correct and fair. So what happens now? Your job when you are back in school is to continue with your lessons as normal, and all of the remaining course content will be delivered in that time. Our after school and morning catch-up sessions will resume the week beginning the 15th of March, following the same timetable as previously. There may be some tweaks for some of you, but please make sure that you attend all of those sessions from this point. You will be conducting a suite of trial examinations. So, like the PPEs were back in December for Year 13 and September for Year 11, we'll be conducting more examinations, as that will give us a great piece of evidence to show what grade it is that you would be working at and deserve. Those timetables and dates will be confirmed with you in coming weeks, but realistically they're likely to be around May sort of time. It's vital that you act as though these were the real ones and fully prepare for them. If you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. These are your opportunity to do as well as you possibly can at that point. Any other key information that we feel is useful, we will share with you, and point you in the direction of where to find it. Those being things like the key dates, the timeline of events as to what we're going to do our end to ensure that we meet the deadline effectively. But please be aware, staff cannot discuss your grades with you. They've made it very clear that staff cannot say, if you do this you will get a grade 5, or if you do this you will change your grade to a B. They simply cannot do that, so please don't ask them. They will feed back on how you can improve, and you can ask them how you can improve. However, do not discuss the grading with them, please. So, how will we decide and evidence on your grades? Well, staff will be required to submit a grade based on the assessment of the standard at which you are performing. So May, June time, what grade are you working at that point? Not what grade you potentially might have got or what you previously have got. We will consider the standard at which you performed over the course of the study. So obviously all of your assessments throughout the entire course will be taken into account and used as evidence to support. You'll only be assessed on the content which you have been taught, not for anything missed as a result of school closures. Now when I say missed, I mean missed as it could not be taught. So certain practical elements of sport, for instance, or design technology, or if you didn't have the equipment for engineering, for instance. However, any of the content that has been delivered during lockdown and school closures is considered to have been taught. Now obviously staff will take a considered approach when deciding on this. They will look at the relevance of that content and how much of it there is within an exam paper, for instance, and take measures to ensure that you are not disadvantaged in any way for that. Any work that you've completed during lockdown can be used, but also scrutinised to ensure that it is your own work. So what other evidence will staff draw upon? Well, they'll use a range of evidence. Exam materials, your mock exams, previous PPEs, end of topic assessments, etc., and any other additional supporting material released by the exam boards that we are expecting out just after Easter. Any A tasks, so your non-exam assessment coursework components, they can be used even if they are incomplete. And if they have a 40% weighting towards your final outcome, that will also be considered in the final grading. Your work in lesson and homework, provided it follows the same format as exam board materials, in the sense of it's the same content that's being delivered and taught, etc. Records of your capabilities of performances over the duration of the course, so in subjects like music, drama, art, what have those members of staff witnessed and what level have they witnessed you working at, and other records of achievement during the course, so any other end of topic tests, predicted grades that staff have entered for you previously, etc., etc. How will we ensure that the correct grade is awarded? Well, in order to award the correct grade, we need to use a holistic approach when deciding on that outcome. And to ensure that the correct grade is awarded based on your capabilities, behaviour and attendance will not be taken into account when awarding those grades. So if previously you've been in trouble or you've had poor attendance, that will not be taken into account when awarding the final grade. It is simply based on your ability. Any reasonable adjustments that would normally have been in place will be taken into account. So exam access arrangements, if you usually get 25% extra time, if you use a laptop, for instance, a scribe, or any other extenuating circumstances that may temporarily affect your performance. If there are circumstances like that, then please let us know about them. And staff will also sign a declaration to say that they have followed the guidance when concluding on your grade. So the guidance that we are given from Ofqual and the Department of Education, then we will ensure that it is taken into account. All of your grades will undergo strict checks. Those strict checks will be taken by several members of staff. All of your teachers who teach a subject will decide on the grade that is going to be awarded. So if you have 2 teachers for a particular subject, both of those will agree on your grade. Those grades will then be ratified by curriculum leaders. And what I mean by that is they will look at every grade for every student on their course that they lead, and they will look at the evidence to ensure that a correct grade has been awarded. Those grades will then be discussed by the senior leadership team, so the same level of detail will then be used again to scrutinise to make sure that the appropriate grades are being awarded by the teachers and curriculum leaders. And then finally, the head of centre, Mr. Rowe, will have the final say-so on what grades are awarded. So all of these we've added as layers of protection for you to ensure that you achieve the right and best outcomes. Furthermore, all centres nationally will be checked to ensure the validity and fairness of the grades that have been awarded. Now, samples of schools, in terms of samples of subjects, students from those subjects may be called upon to ensure that the appropriate grades have been awarded and that exam boards can validate what we are suggesting. Exam boards cannot change your grade. If they feel that we have made an incorrect decision, then they will either ask for more evidence or ask us to reconsider our grade. They will not change the grades. So what happens next for you guys? Well, ultimately, the final date in our calendar is Friday the 18th of June. That is the deadline for all grade submission to the exam boards. So between now and then, I urge you all, continue to work hard, attend all of your lessons. If you are not in school, then we cannot teach and we cannot develop those skills to help you improve your outcomes. Act on the feedback that staff are giving you. So when they mark your work, do what staff are suggesting, so it's for you to improve. And if you're struggling with anything at all, please ask for help. Make the most of that time that you have remaining now between now and June, because it really will be the difference between what grade you achieve in the long run. We're the experts, let us do our jobs. By us doing our jobs, we can ensure that you get the best possible outcomes, whether that be by providing you more support material, more revision material, or structured answers so that you can use those so that you know how you can better answer questions. Final dates that I need to share with you are the results days. These have been brought forward from previous years. So on the 10th of August it will be the A-level and level 3 vocational qualification release, and on the 12th of August the GCSE level 2 vocational qualification release. So those are the dates that you will receive your exam results. When you receive those, you can appeal your grade. However, I would stress that we have not yet got enough guidance to fully explain how that appeals process will work. But what I do know is that you cannot appeal your grade if you are unhappy with it. You can only appeal your grade based on administrative error or evidence of bias, which we will ensure is removed completely. So, in summary, between now and the end of May, work as hard as you can for the remainder of the time that you have with us. You put the effort in now, you will see it in your results. Try your best in everything that you do. Homework, classwork, coursework, exams, do your best. Act on the feedback that is given to you by members of staff, and trust us. We want what is best for you, the same as you guys do. So, between now and then, good luck, work hard, and I look forward to welcoming you all back over the coming weeks.